everyone, my name is Layla, but you can call me Layla Bell. Today I'm going to be reading to you The Mitten by Jan Brett. This is a book that I really liked as a kid, and I still think it's really interesting, and I think everybody will like it. And it's a winter story, so it fits in perfectly with the cold weather we're having right now. And before I read it, or before I get started, I'm going to wake up my little friend here. And this friend is actually really special. Her name is Pixel, and she is the oldest robot dog that I know. She's 22 years old, so she's actually a little bit older than me. And she's really smart, though. She does all the things all the other ones have done. If you've watched the earlier, the first two story times that I did. And I actually like to consider her our library dog, because she comes to the library with me a whole lot, and she likes to see all the different people that come to the library. And while she's getting started up, I'll move her towards the camera so everybody can see her. And she's awake. She does her little stretch when she first wakes up, just to make sure everything's working right. Good morning, Pixel. Alright. She's laying down, I guess. Don't go to sleep now. Well, she's not asleep. Her tail's still wagging, if you can see it on the camera. She's just resting, I guess. Alright, let's start with The Mitten. This is based on a Ukrainian folk tale, and it was adapted and illustrated by Jan Brett, who's the author of a whole lot of books, a whole lot of really good kids' books. Once there was a boy named Nicky, who wanted his new mittens made from wool as white as snow. And that's Nicky, right there. At first, his grandmother, Baba, did not want to knit white mittens. If you drop one in the snow, she warned, you'll never find it. That's true, a white mitten would match pretty well with the snow. See, it's the same color as the snow over here. But Nicky wanted snow-white mittens, so finally Baba made them. See, he's bound and determined that he's going to get white mittens. Why are you meowing? You're not a kitty cat. After she finished, she said, when you come home, first I will look to see if you are safe and sound, but then I will look to see if you still have your snow-white mittens. And Pixel's doing really good listening to the story, so good job on your behalf, Pixel. Anyway, let's get back to the story. So off Nicky went, and it wasn't long until one of his new mittens dropped in the snow and was left behind. You should have listened to her, shouldn't he? There it is right there, and it blends in really nicely with the snow. You think he's going to be able to find it? There he goes, searching for it right now. A mole, tired from tunneling along, discovered the mitten and burrowed inside it. It was cozy and warm and just the right size, so he decided to stay. And there's the mole right there. You looking at it too? See the mole? Or everybody else can see the mole. He's going into the mitten. A snowshoe rabbit came hopping by. He stopped for a moment to admire his winter coat. It was then that he saw the mitten, and then he wiggled in, feet first. The mole didn't think there was room for both of them, but when he saw the rabbit's big kickers, he moved on over. That would be the rabbit's feet, because rabbits have long, big feet. See, there's the rabbit, and there's the little mole. And they're both in there, and there's Nicky, and he's still looking for his mitten. Next, a hedgehog came snuffling along. Having spent the day looking under wet leaves for things to eat, he decided to move into the mitten and warm himself up. The mole and the rabbit were bumped and jostled, but not being ones to argue with someone covered in prickles, they made room for him. Ooh, goodness, those prickles look very spiky. I totally understand what they mean. And there's Nicky, he's looking inside the tree, hoping he can find his mitten. Still hasn't found it yet. And all these animals are coming and snuggling in it. As soon as the hedgehog disappeared into the mitten, a big owl, attracted by all the commotion, swooped down. When he decided to move in also, the mole, the rabbit, and the hedgehog grumbled. But when they saw the owl's glinty talons, as in his big huge claws, they quickly let him in. And there he is. And there's Nicky still hunting for that mitten of his. Hopefully he'll find it. Up through the snow appeared a badger. He eyed the mitten and began to climb in. The mole, the rabbit, the hedgehog, and the owl were not pleased at all. There was no room left, but when they saw his diggers, as in his claws, they gave him the thumb. You see, they let him get in there too. And there's Nicky, still looking for the mitten. It started snowing, but the animals were snug in the mitten. A waft of warm steam rose in the air, and a fox trotting by stopped to investigate. There's the big fox. Just the sight of the cozy mitten made him feel drowsy. The fox poked his muzzle in. When the mole, the rabbit, the hedgehog, the owl, and the badger saw his shiny teeth, they gave the fox lots of room. A great big bear lumbered by. He spied the mitten all plumped up. Not being one to be left out in the cold, he began to nose his way in. The animals were packed in as tightly as can be, but what animal would argue with a bear? That's true, what animal would argue with a bear? Pretty big, ain't it? The mitten swelled and stretched, it was pulled and bulged many times its size, but Baba's good knitting held on perfectly. Along came a meadow mouse no bigger than an acorn. She wriggled into the one space left, right there on top of the bear's nose, and made herself comfortable. Uh-oh. I wonder what's going to happen. The bear, tickled by the mouse's whiskers, gave an enormous sneeze. Achoo! The force of the sneeze shot the mitten up into the sky and scattered all the animals in different directions. There they go. On his way home, Nicky saw a white shape in the distance. It was the lost mitten silhouetted against the blue sky. There it goes flying. And I think he found it finally, didn't he? As he ran to catch his snow-white mitten, he saw Baba's face in the window. First, she looked to see if he was safe and sound, and then she saw that he still had his new mittens. And there's Baba, looking, wondering why one of the mittens got bigger than the other one. I bet she'll never know that there was a whole bunch of animals sleeping in it. And that's the end. I think that's a really cute book. And I hope all those animals found somewhere to stay after the mitten went back to Nicky, because they had to have somewhere nice and warm. By the way, what is your favorite animal? My favorite animal is dogs, definitely, obviously. Isn't that right, Pixel? Do you like dogs? Are you a dog? I guess you're a dog, you're just a robot dog.